spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Nobody has more kinds of cars or more kinds of people. See them at the sign of the cat. By Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire. And by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you live, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
Well, hello, good people. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Jobu Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. If the Dallas Cowboys are about being a media organization, they have done it. They have literally grabbed okay, Vinny, I'll find out what happened, buddy. I thought Mike actually already sent it out, but I'll check it out, okay? Email me, Vinny, okay? Do that. Right now, let's talk about Micah Parsons' situation here. We got Jimbo. We got Chris in the house. We've got Dwayne Sweeney. I literally just got back from vacation, so I'm just trying to figure out what's what. David J. in the house. Zane, Alex. So here's the reality here is you can demand all you want. The Cowboys could hold on to Micah Parsons for 3 years. Easily. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about that. They have a contract with them for this year, and they can play hardball and say, you know, we're not giving you another contract. David J., just watch the Jones trade Micah to the Commanders of the Eagles. That would literally be a death sentence because you know that Micah Parsons would be looking for payback. Parsons says hail to the Redskins. Eagles will sweep the division now. Oh, I can guarantee you, if they don't have Micah Parsons, the season's over. Yeah. And you know what? I can't say I blame him any. I would literally do this. I'm going to go through, and I'm going to get 105. I haven't seen this.
I wanted to.
I'm gonna play 105.3 The Fan. Because I've been out working and trying to get this stuff together. So I'm trying to see. Breaking news. Okay. ICE raids in Philadelphia. Okay. All right. Let's listen to them and see what they have.
Be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my dad and I grew up cheering for in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, this is the line. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for this organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. He said he stayed here. He stayed quiet to get something done. He wanted to get a deal done, so he stayed quiet. But then there's been a lot of confusion. So he said he wanted to clear up some confusion. Him and his agent reached out after his third year in hopes of getting a deal done. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start negotiations then. So that's a clear thing. They didn't want to negotiate then. They said, nope, we got other things we got to accomplish.
Which isn't shocking. We kind of knew that.
He said I was okay with that. Didn't complain. Focus on 24. After the season, I told my agent, once again, let the team know we're open to negotiate. When they met at the Combine, my agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up. That makes complete sense, right? Yeah. That is how this business is. We see it happen all the time. After the season, he told them that. This was before any of the other pass rushers deals got done. This offseason, I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones. We had a talk, wanted to talk leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract. I engaged back and forth in regards to the contract, but at no point did I believe This was supposed to be a formal negotiation. I told Mr. Jones afterward that my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. Then my agent reached out, spoke to him, and spoke to Adam.
Wow.
He was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him this wasn't the case. Also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still,
This is
no
ridiculous.
call, no email, nothing. So I'm going to get down to this other part right here at the end. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract.
Wow.
Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives I've made a tough decision, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
Wow.
My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Ooh.
I'm curious if he's on the
that was the
practice
line we
field
missed
today.
right there, Fred, was the
I'm
I no
curious if he's on
longer
the
want to
practice
play
field.
for the Dallas Cowboys.
That his trade's been now, and look, this is, and Stephen Jones told Gavin Dawson, told the G-Bag Nation, told 105 The Fan, and everybody tuning in, and it's since gone viral that they don't drag out negotiations. That 90% of what he said was in Jerry and him when we all knew they had those conversations earlier this year. Jerry took that to mean that a deal had been struck, or that the parameters of a deal had been set, and that I guess they would finalize it with the agent. And apparently, when they came back, that wasn't the case. And again, it pretty much alludes to it.
Yep.
Adam, I'm guessing the front office guy, thought the deal was done. So Jerry being Jerry, thinking that again, going off of like 1990s negotiation style, where you could do that sort of thing. You could talk to a guy and say, hey, this is what we're thinking, da-da-da. Go back to your agent, we'll dot I's, cross T's, boom, done. Well, it doesn't work like that. And after, rightfully so, Micah went back to David Mulugeta and probably ran by what they had discussed. Mulugeta said, no, that's not how this is going to go about. And when numbers got talked about or whatever they discussed in that initial conversation with Adam, here we are a month, 2 months, 3 months later, and as what it sounds like,
And they've been
nobody's
trashing
budged.
him.
Cowboys aren't talking, and this is where we're at.
This is interesting because the other day, CeeDee Lamb was up on the podium out at training camp, and he said, as they were having conversations, this was a small line in a lot of conversation. He said, "I don't think that you want to get into a media battle with Jerry Jones."
Yeah.
Then this is
a media battle with the
Micah
Jones.
Parsons taking control of the narrative. This is actually a fascinating study that we're about to watch.
Oh, it really is.
Because this is kind of that one of those moments where usually the Joneses acquiesce to a deal eventually.
Yeah.
They make up their mind and they say, okay, this is
stupid.
he's now said, I don't want to be here. So I don't know if this is now the Joneses can say, oh, here's the contract and now we're going to negotiate and everything's going to be fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Because now it sounds like, well, now if you want me here,
You
you're gonna
guys have to
hack on even more numbers.
Now, I tell you
but
what,
on top of that,
insult tax.
Hold on. Here's what he just did, okay? Here's literally what Micah Parsons has done. Stephen Jones said to him, hey, Micah's got to say, prove that, or he's got to be the one to want to get paid. He's got to want to get paid. So now Micah Parsons has thrown it into them and said, okay, now you got to prove that you want me to be here. You got to prove that you want me to be here. Okay? Listen, I'm good because as my shirt says right here, I'm going to get mine. He's like, listen, either you going to pay me or somebody else going to pay me. I don't care, but somebody going to pay me for my services. I only have so much time to be in the NFL. And I ain't got time to waste. And I don't blame him one bit. I hope that they're scrambling right now. And you know what? I hope they have to pay through the nose. I don't care if it ruins the team anymore. I'm sick and tired of the damn Joneses and the stupid bullshit here. The guy should have been taken care of. Everybody else has been taken care of in the draft class that was ahead of him. And he is the only one with Jamar Chase that are 4-time Pro Bowlers of his rookie class. He's serious. and he deserves it. He does not deserve the bull crap that the Joneses have done. And unless I'm angry. I am really angry. No, I'm serious. Because unless this is Jerry and Micah Parsons saying, you know what? We're going to pay you, Micah. We just want publicity from it. Now, this could be it. This could be, we're trying to break the internet. Micah Parsons recognizes that, hey, I am a media person. We've seen what all of this stuff does as far as the Cowboys go. I'm just putting it out there that this could be a possibility because Jerry Jones likes to stir shit up, as he says. And Micah Parsons, he could be like, okay, you want to stir shit up? Let me demand a trade the day after Terry McLaurin did, okay? Let me stir the pot with Last Ride. Let me build it, because here it is. It's Hall of Fame weekend. Ain't nobody talking about Hall of Fame. Ain't nobody talking about the Hall of Fame. Ain't nobody talking about Trey Lance last night. Wasn't so bad. Nobody talking about how bad Kyle Allen was or anything like that. Ain't nobody talking about the Eagles, the Super Bowl champions. What are they talking about? Jerry Jones, Micah Parsons. That's all they're talking about. Yep. That's all they're talking about. So let me go back to 105.3 The Fan and listen to them some more.
You treated me like crap, and I don't like that. Now, a lot of people I see on the fan text right now, a lot of people are going through the emotions of all this. Trade his ass. How much can we get for him? The Joneses are terrible for this. This is like nobody. There is no defined line on where people are.
It's pretty evenly split about how people feel about this
You're
situation.
100% right, Holly.
I don't know how what the Cowboys next, because this morning, whenever we started this conversation this morning, it was he could request a trade. The relationship has deteriorated, but now Micah has put it out there. No, that's true, I'm Diana Rossini, and I'm done with this thing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much that affects the locker room too, because I feel like there's Trayvon Diggs is in a situation where he's upset.
Where they thrown him under the bus.
The locker room is being supportive of him. We saw the Wanye Thomas post.
Yeah.
We see that they're being supportive. How does it affect the locker room? And how does it affect the negotiation now with the Jones family?
The Trayvon situation, I think, is just him attaching himself. I mean, look, he's just being opportunistic, I think, more than anything else. I mean, he's been paid, right? Like, you're complaining about what? Because you got docked money? Well, that's more of a discussion about, how you're handling things as a professional. This Micah situation, I mean, it has, and again, this is where the Jones screwed up. You underestimated David Mulligetta
and Micah Parsons.
Okay, you underestimated how far David Mulligetta was willing to go, and you underestimated how far Micah Parsons was willing to go.
Yep.
Oh yeah.
Okay, like with
thought
Dak,
that you could say whatever.
You
and
thought
the money
you could use the old this is how we do things with the Cowboys, and he's under contract and da 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 da. It's like right, he is to a point. But at the same time, too, though, this isn't, to be fair, this isn't Trayvon Diggs.
Nope.
All right? Trayvon Diggs negotiating his deal a couple years ago is a whole different story than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is in the Trayvon Diggs is a good cornerback, but I don't know that we've ever had him in the conversation as being one of the best cornerbacks in football.
Yep.
Right.
Okay? Micah Parsons is 1A, 1B, 1C when we're talking about impact defensive ends in the National Football League. Run stopping notwithstanding, okay? But no one's going to disagree. He is not one of the premier pass rushers in the National Football League.
This conversation, though, because
you're right, Holly.
Guys will say they don't want to be somewhere, but he currently is still under contract.
He is.
What's the line we always hear? Guys don't want to miss paychecks.
No.
They don't want to miss game checks.
Apparently he's ready to.
So he says that right now. I'm interested to see how far the Cowboys are willing to push that. To say, hold on, he's not going to want to miss these checks. Here's Adam Schefter, though, a potential trade comp for Micah Parsons. When Khalil Mack was 27, traded from Oakland to Chicago, the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a sixth-round pick for Khalil Mack, a second-round pick, and a conditional fifth. 26 years old for Parsons, who is one of the 2 players in the NFL history to register a double-plus sack season in each of his first 4 seasons. along with Reggie White, has now requested the trade.
Yeah.
That is the place where fans are sitting. Do I want Micah Parsons, who is a fantastic pass rusher, maybe not the best, but a fantastic one?
Top 3.
Or do I want all these picks? And I don't know exactly who has that.
And
I was kind of looking
space.
around. Yeah, there's and cap space. That's another thing to go along with it. Micah Parsons has said he no longer wants to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Okay, so let's look at some ramifications here. Let's go to over the cap. This is ridiculous. So at this point, Micah Parsons is a $24 million cap hit. If he is traded post June 1st, they will all get $14 million of cap savings, but they will still have a cap. No, wait a minute. No, actually. Okay, so cap savings, if they could trade him now, they would save the $24 million. But they got $31 million, and they ain't used it. So what does that do? What does that do for you? This would be, we're just going to waste another year. You could do that and say that this is going to be a red shirt season. But that would be stupid as hell. So I hope that these fools kind of work on getting this shit together. I'm curious here. Shout out to everybody who's joined me. Bobby Beniski. Mark, can I get a Micah shirt on discount price? Okay. Let's go to...
Show began with us talking about Terry McLaurin wanting to trade. He said he wanted to trade.
Here we go. Let's get another perspective here.
He gave one. And then we learned from Diana Rossini of The Athletic that Micah was considering drastic measures, including a trade request or even a declaration that he's severing his relationship with the team, per multiple league sources familiar with the situation, because the relationship has deteriorated to that point. What would that look like? Well, we now know. Would this suffice as breaking up with the team and demanding a trade?
Yeah.
Micah Parsons tweeting out the following. I guess he put it on his notes and then he screen grabbed it and popped it up. It starts with it was "Thank you, Dallas." Was the
thank you,
headline.
Jerry Jones.
Sounds like he's gone. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, PA. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I had purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there's a confusion out there, let me clear some things up. And then he goes in. Details. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team didn't want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that. Didn't complain. Focused on 2024. After the season, I told my agent again, let the team know that we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up. But I didn't care, and I wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any other pass rushers got deals done. And then he also mentioned how I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow, the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation.
That's Jerry Jones screwed it up.
The big finish. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. By the way, this is exactly what
Thanks, JD3.
Right?
Yep.
But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, I imagine he's in the front office, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that wasn't the case and also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk, yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a back and forth at all. And he said, at this point, we decided we would allow the team, can you keep going? Yet not still a call whatsoever, is what he said. And then we finish up with the big finish here on this statement. I have it here from, again, the NFL Network. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet, but again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I've made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally.
Adam is Adam Pasifka. He's the director of salary cap and player contracts.
Thank you, sir.
From Marketplace Deli.
Okay. This tracks with what, the great Clarence Hill told us. And it also tracks with DeMarcus Ware telling us that Jerry likes having conversations with players in his office. They light votive candles. He gets the, and he sets the scene and he starts talking about, you want to be a Dallas Cowboy. This is what we're talking about. And it also tracks with everybody saying that the new head coach there, Brian Schottenheimer, has talked to Micah Parsons about being more of a leader. And again, what that's about is like, stop podcasting so damn much. Be more of a leader. Be here and be about it and things of that nature.
That's probably why he showed up to training camp.
Well, and that's what he was saying. I'm trying to show that I'm being a leader by being here. Certainly, since if it starts with I thought we had a deal, and then you're like, talk to my agent, and they don't reach out again. That's absurd. There's no other way to put it. I love the Joneses, and it's just absurd. When you're talking about there's only two individuals in the history of the NFL that's had a dozen or more sacks in each of his first 4 years of his career, Reggie White and the guy on the screen. Now, you could sit here and say to the Joneses the four letters, F-A-F-O, right? But Diana Rossini's already said they have no intention of trading him. So I don't know where this goes, except for he has now made the biggest stink he possibly can. Certainly if he stays in, if he now is holding in and you can't give him a 5-day letter, and he's like, I'm holding in, I want out, I don't ever play for you again, but I'm here because I'm trying to be a leader with my teammates while I'm still here, and they're still my teammates. That's the way that you put the maximum leverage that you possibly can here to get something done. And again, there's still 30-plus days for them to call the agent, have a serious negotiation, and as CeeDee Lamb said at the end of the day, laugh it off and all get back together again. Once again, Myles Garrett came on our show at the Super Bowl and said, it's over. I want no part of it. It's not about money. It's about winning. $40 million a year later, he's back with the Browns. It money sounds talks. Bad. It feels bad. It's just unnecessary. It's not necessary.
It's not.
Unless they're trying to prove a point. When Jerry sits down with you, it's a contract negotiation. All right, then, is that what you're trying to prove to other people on the team? It just makes no sense. It's unnecessary. Can it be repaired? Absolutely, it can be repaired. Give him the money he wants. Just sit down and talk about it. Just end this.
Yeah.
End it.
Yeah.
Midnight is now struck as
he's
far
put
as
the ball
Miles,
in their court.
Micah Parsons is concerned. That's what I'll tell you, TJ. Just sit back and hopefully they talk to each other, because that's the way it should go. Catch the Rich Eisen Show live.
Thank you, Rich. Yeah, that's right now. Here's the reality. Now, money talks, BS walks. Let's be clear about that. You can fix this by getting this shit done and basically bending over backwards. He sold out and lied his soul away. I know, dude, it's sad. It is really. Dak has smart with Jerry Jones at arm's length and keeping everyone professional. Yeah, you know what? And see, here's the thing that Micah Parsons, you thought that he was a Jerry Jones favorite, because he was, and Jerry Jones is sweet. for the national championship game, right? And they supposedly were talking for hours and everything else. Jerry Jones goes on here and basically says, well, we've talked about the contract and think we have a deal. Yeah, well, that's great and all that, but the reality is that isn't actually negotiation. Micah Parsons literally ended it and said, yeah, talk to my agent. The agents actually called them, and they've ignored them. So what Micah Parsons has done, which is instead of letting the Joneses set the narrative and letting them basically trash the player, you heard him say to Micah, well, Micah's got to want to get paid, right? They've been trying to trash him and make him look like the bad guy that I'm holding out for all this money. By him going through there and saying exactly every single step, here's what happened. Me and Jerry, Katarina Kiss, how are you doing? Shout out to the ladies. I know Holly Pierce is in here. Lady Libra's in here. Appreciate everybody being in here. I'm a little animated right now and probably a little bit tipsy because I'm taking a little shot and I haven't been doing too much drinking. But I think the Cowboys are going to make me drink. Somebody told you wrong. What he has now done is he is winning in the court of public opinion. And as opposed to the Joneses talking about a player, they're greedy. You got to take a deal that's friendly to the team. We can't build the team if you're taking all the money. You got to leave some of the pie. You got to leave some of the pie for everybody else. Well, guess what? Jake Ferguson got a piece of the pie. Dak Prescott got a piece of the pie. CeeDee Lamb got a piece of the pie. Osa Ndigazua got a piece of the pie. Bro, you still have $31 million left in the pie right now, and you can get more cap relief by getting my contract. So explain to me why it is you are not doing my contract. You say you missed 4 games. I missed 4 games in my career. And I still am one of 2 people to start my career with 12 or more sacks a season. There's one other guy in the history of the NFL, and his name is not Lawrence Taylor. So you pay Jake Ferguson, who was injured last year, had a concussion, had a hurt leg, had an off season, right? He got paid. And I'm sitting here. It's not, it is not because of Dak. It is not because of Dak. That's bullshit. That's bullshit. No. Because you can sit here and say Trevor Lawrence is $55 million. You're going to say that because Dak Prescott's made $5 million more per year than Trevor Lawrence, that's why you can't sign Micah Parsons? When you see that, here it is, the Eagles have signed everybody. Everybody. No, this is the drama for your mama. This is literally, it's crazy. I'm mystified at this. But here's the thing. Micah Parsons has put them on blast and now makes them look like freaking idiots. Now, that may be the thing that they say, oh, he's going to make us look bad. I'm rich and I don't give a damn. I'll trade him. Or it makes them wake the hell up and say, oh, shit, let's get this thing done. What does Trevor Lawrence have to do with this? Trevor Lawrence, are you crazy, B Fatty? Trevor Lawrence was drafted ahead of him, got paid in the beginning of last summer at $55 million. The second highest, at the time, he tied with the highest paid in the NFL, having done absolutely positively nothing. Nothing. That's what it has to do with it. And for people to say, well, Dak Prescott, it's because Dak Prescott got signed and he's taking all the money. I'm pointing out that Trevor Lawrence is $55 million. That $5 million right there is chump change. It's chump change. So, yeah, that's where we are. I was looking for DLS because they had a little piece on here too. I guess they deleted it. I guess they deleted it because I don't see it now because it was up just a few moments ago. Let's see. Let's check.
Not yet, because
Okay,
first I want to talk to my friends. I'm
Let-
Jeff
let-
Kavanaugh
let's-
here
let's get
alongside
this.
former Cowboy
Shout
wide
out to-
receiver Jesse Holley and the greatest beat writer in the history of the Cowboys, Mr. Clarence Hill, who's been at the forefront
Okay.
of all of the Michael
Can the Cowboys
Michael
sell the
Parsons
team? They ain't going to
coverage,
sell
if
it
you
because they
will.
make too much money off of
One
it.
of the best players in football is done being disrespected by the Jones family is the way that I read all this, and their
you, Micah.
ridiculousness with how they think that they can negotiate with their players and talk about their players in public. We have a full statement from Micah Parsons, which I can read if you guys think that I should, but I want to say
Clarence is
hello
just
to both
shaking his
Jesse
head.
Holley and Clarence Hill. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Jesse. Hello, Jesse.
What up? What up? What up? I think you should read it. I think it's worth reading.
And then I want to say hello to Mr. Clarence Hill. Clarence, you think I should read Micah's statement?
I need you to read it, no uhs and ahs.
No uhs and ahs, just rip it.
Yeah.
This is Micah Parsons to you, the Cowboy fan, and to the Cowboys front office. And it's typed in his Apple Notes, which means that someone pasted it there for him. Probably David Mulligetta. Yes, I wanted to be here. I did everything I could to show that I wanted to be a Cowboy and wear the star on my helmet. I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my pops and I grew up cheering for way up in Harrisburg, Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent present. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for the organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. I'd purposely stayed quiet in hopes of getting something done, but since there's confusion out there, let me clear some things up. I had my agent reach out to the Cowboys last offseason after my third year in hopes of getting a deal done early. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start any negotiations at that point. I was okay with that. Didn't complain, focused on the 2024 season. After the season, I told my agent once again, let the team know we were open to negotiate when they met at the Combine. My agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up, but I didn't care and wanted to secure myself as a Cowboy long term. This was before any of the other pass rusher deals got to flip pages. Hold on. Deals got done. This offseason, I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones to talk about leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract with me. Yes, I engaged in a back and forth in regards to what I wanted from my contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. And I informed Mr. Jones afterward my agent would reach out, thinking this would get things done. But when my agent reached out and spoke to Adam, he was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him that's not the case. Also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still not a call, email, or text to my agent about starting a negotiation. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives, I've made a tough decision. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Clarence Hill, go.
And I've talked to both sides. I told y'all this morning that Stephen Jones apologized to Micah for that shot. He said he, shouldn't have said what he said, and Micah's feel the shots. He's been feeling the shots that have been coming on the record, off the record, just little things like the pay. When Jerry said that if the whispers weren't allowed to CD, just having fun, but. Again, it's personal.
Like you ain't gonna fuck with me like that.
I know for sure they have not talked to the agent. As of this morning, have not talked to the agent. More important, I was actually writing a story. They have not even submitted that deal to the agent. The agent has never seen that deal. That all the people on Jerry's side was richest in sports. And the deal that Jerry claimed they have had and meeting of minds on, they never sent the deal to the agent. He has not seen the deal. They have not offered any other deals. There have been no negotiations, no back and forth, or anything like that. That has not happened. He's right. It's been silent. And again, Why?
See, the Cowboys,
None of it makes
they screwed
any
up because
sense.
they thought they could play with Micah Parsons.
From a Cowboys standpoint, we gave him a solid deal. Solid deals to who? Says who?
Yeah.
From your point of view, it's solid, but that's why I have my agent to look out for my side and look at it and see what the deal is.
Now, I'm going to hold this up for a second because I'm trying to find everything that I can. So CeeDee Lamb tweeted out, "Never fails, dog. Just pay the man what you owe him. No need for the extra curricular." Players changing their profile photos to Micah Parsons. I love the bond with this team. So what you're having right now is the team is coalescing right now against the Joneses. They are literally everybody. DeMarcus Overshown, he's got his profile picture of Micah Parsons and him. Diggs has done this. The players are riding around and taking Micah Parsons' side. They ain't talking about Micah Parsons as being, greedy or anything else. They're basically saying, F the Joneses. They literally are. It's incredibly unlikely the Cowboys actually trade Micah Parsons, in my opinion. This is RJ. But I have to reach the point where it is overwhelming proof of how horrible a job the highest points of leadership are within the Cowboys organization. They are a clown show. They are getting killed on Twitter right now. As a Bear, this is where my mind immediately went when I hear Micah Parsons, and maybe with little to no time remaining on the offseason. So everybody, you got CeeDee Lamb shaking my head. So everybody is coalescing against for your linebacker and against the Joneses. They look like freaking idiots. And, of course, everybody, the chum is in the water. Everybody is saying, come to my team. I had Philly 500 come send me a tweet this morning. Send me a message and say, we're hearing rumors of him going. And I'm looking right here. A potential Eagles powerhouse. Jalen Carter, Micah Parsons, Jordan Davis, Jax Hunt, Nolan Smith. Just imagine. So everybody is dreaming. Everybody else would die to have Micah Parsons. And the team that literally has him takes him for granted. It is unimaginable. And I hope, so at least hearing Clarence say that Stephen Jones apologized to him for his statements, basically, Micah, we were just having a little bit of fun here, and we're just trying to make a little bit of extra headlines here, and we know we're going to get this deal worked out, and we love you and everything else. You got to understand, there's nothing personal. This is just business. The hell it is. You don't play with me like this. You don't want to pay me. You want to bullshit. You want to go ahead and try and make me look like the bad guy. Then I say, F you. Get me the hell out of here, Stephen Jones. And I bet you they're kind of now meeting around right now and saying, oh, shit, let's go through and let's get this thing done. And I hope that they feel stupid right now. Todd Archer tweeted the Cowboys will not have a response to Micah Parsons' trade to Corey. And again, they don't have to. But he can certainly become a distraction. So let's listen to more of what they had to say.
They have not sent the deal to the agent. But the bottom line is just because you say it's a good deal doesn't mean it's a good deal.
Jesse?
Drama. This is what the Cowboys have become. This is just another episode of Our Days of Our Lives, General Hospital, you name it. This is what the Cowboys, this is what it is. We've gotten to this point because let's not skip over that part. We've gotten to this point because of the lack of forward thinking and just the ability to get deals done by the Jones family. We've already said on countless occasions, this is their blueprint. This is the way they go about business. And we've gotten to this point. Now, do I believe this is an empty threat? Kinda. I think this is another part of the process. I think that we sometimes see you saw Terry McLaurin do it over in Washington. Remember, Myles Garrett said almost the same exact thing, minus the shots being taken about how he never wanted to play another down in Cleveland. Then all of a sudden, Cleveland got the money right, and he signed, and it's happily ever after. So I think this is just – and also let me say, I'm not mad at Micah for doing this. I think this is the next step in him and his agent really forcing the issue because they do want to get a deal done. Deal should have been done. And I get Micah taking the shots personally because they were unnecessary. But I do think this is one of those deals where it's just the next escalating step to it.
This is
I
putting
truly,
them on
in my
blast.
heart of hearts, do not believe that Micah wants to leave Dallas. I don't think I think what he said in the initial statement was he, his daddy, his family, who have all been Cowboys fans for a very long time, are still Cowboys fans, and they want to end his career as a Cowboy. So this is just one of those things where David Malugetta says they want to play dirty, we can play dirtier, and now this is the move that they made.
The Truth 646 is in the super chat. He said the Cowboys front office is the absolute worst. I do think that Jerry Jones can give Nico Harrison a run for his money for sure, and he's really trying to beat him today. KG's in the super chat and yells educated opinion. Does this change much, or are we looking at drama and Micah's still probably going to get paid?
He's going to
Miles
get paid.
Garrett type situation. And I do think that, yes, you could absolutely still get a deal done. You could still have the Miles Garrett situation happen.
Clarence, you got to mute your phone. You got to mute. You got a lot of background noise.
Is that what it is? I don't know where it's coming from, but we have a whole bunch of extra noise.
Yes, I'm sorry.
Let me get to the super chats here. Shout out to Bobby Benitsky. Trade Micah and Diggs and Tank for Manning. You're gonna have to do a lot more than that to get to Manning. Holly Pierce, Diggs and Agent Zero, Wanye Thomas have changed their ex-avatar to Micah Parsons, as well as CeeDee Lamb too. Shout out to you for that one. Lamar Davis, I hate the Cowgirls, but I love this. David J. Honestly, it might be smarter to trade Micah. Having a player who doesn't want to be here in the locker room isn't good for everybody. Well, David, you heard him say he wanted to end his career here. But you don't just continue to disrespect me and say I'm not worth it, and try and set this whole thing. Well, he's got to want to get paid. Well, wait a minute. I told you contact my agent, and my agent's called you. And you gone silent. So how is it that he doesn't want to? He's done everything the right way. He said, listen, I'll leave money on the table. I just want to get this thing done. I want to keep my teammates together. I want to win a Super Bowl. And see, the Cowboys took that as weakness. Oh, well, shit, he ain't that worried about getting paid. We can take our time. We can, hell, he said, I can see Jerry now. Well, he said, if we don't think that his value is there, he's just going to work harder. So you know what? We'll just let him work harder then for us. That's what we'll do. We'll just let him work harder and stuff and see if we see his value. And Jerry Jones has literally gone through and denigrated him. Well, he, last year he missed 6 games. You didn't even get it right, Jerry. He missed 4 and still was all pro. Still had more sacks than anybody on the Commanders team. Still had more sacks than anybody on the Eagles team. Come on, man. You're sitting here, you're bullshitting. So I will say, David, that it's not a matter of him not wanting to be here. It's a matter of him not wanting to be disrespected. If anything, what he'll see is how everybody is behind him and everybody looks and says, Jerry and Stephen Jones, you are jackasses. Jackasses. You are Dumb and Dumber. Tracy, I need another Dumb and Dumber shirt. Or maybe, Trey, I need a shirt that says, I'm Jerry Jones and I fucked it up. Excuse me, Dad. I'm sorry. But that's exactly what he did. He has all those sacks and Dallas didn't make the playoffs. Well, it's not. Oh, God. I just can't. I just can't with idiots today. All right, let's go back to listen to what they had to say.
I'm in a tent, and you're on my computer. I don't have my earphones on. I was just trying to get on the pod as fast as possible.
Oh, okay. You're okay. Well, yeah, we got a bunch of stuff in the background. But I do think it says a lot that a guy.
He's going to come
Micah
back
Parsons,
with his
we've talked about it before.
story.
Micah Parsons desperately wants to be liked and loved by everyone, whether it's the Joneses, whether it's fan base, whether it's whatever. And I think a lot of things he does is because that is the way that it wants to be had. And I think having the words multiple times in the statement, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. You have to know what to part of the fan base that's going to do. Now, to me, as somebody who wants to see the Cowboys win, that doesn't make me mad at Micah Parsons. That makes me furious at Jerry Jones.
Jerry Jones, that's
like
right.
The
Jerry
arrogance,
Jones.
the ego, the level that you believe you can
up.
disrespect your best players and try to subvert the entire process of how business is done in signing players to the point that one of the best players in the National Football League would rather be gone from the team that he and his family grew up cheering for than to deal with your nonsense. You're 82, 83 years old. The look in the mirror and change something is never going to happen. But just know that, Jerry, you're an embarrassment.
You're playing with the wrong one.
It is embarrassing. It should be embarrassing for every Cowboy fan that one of the best players in the league, who's a massive Cowboy fan, has gotten to the point on a contract that's easy. Yep. It is so easy. We could give you Micah's contract right now, and it's what he will sign with whatever team he goes to. And the fact that you've gotten it to this point because you think it's fun to take shots at your players and disrespect people, and I talk to the principal and try to do an end around, and then when the player doesn't let you, now he's the enemy and the agent's the enemy. I said it today on the show. I love the Dallas Cowboys. I want them to win everything.
Yep.
The more we have to talk about the people who own and run it at the very top, the harder that is for me. I cheer for this team and this organization. They're hard to cheer for because I just don't think they're good at this.
They're not.
And that's all. That's all I got.
And it is sad. It's sad that we've come to this with this type of player in this organization when this thing should be about your new head coach. This is not a culture change, right? This is the same old culture that we've seen in the past from the front office. And attitude reflects leadership. If you want to have this culture change, you want things change, and now you want players that want to buy in. If I'm looking around, I'm looking at and saying, now I get it. Players are going to say, you're going to fold anyway and pay the guy anyway. But, guys, this is not the old days. You can't take shots at guys. You can't say things to guys, and it's going to just roll off their back. They're going to feel some kind of way about it. And now that we've come into this social media age, you can't get on the radio or in the media and have your little snarky remarks and think dudes aren't going to have their responses. And you've seen that so far with Micah Parsons. And I think Micah, if this is a game of spades, Micah slammed down the big joker right here. This is a big joker slam down right here. And now I'm very, very interested and curious to see the responses from Jerry and from Steven.
Yeah, because Micah slammed down the big joke, and I think he's winning the battle of PR right now. And he certainly, again, they met their match when it comes to using the media and using social media to get out a message. And Micah's, beat him to the punch, so to speak. But the Cowboys are talking. We're talking about, we could control him because we got the 2 franchise tags. I mean, all this stuff. Oh, what we could pay him. We could have 4 starters. We could pay for what they're paying Micah. And I know Jerry was talking, and the Cowboys were talking last night about, whatever we offered in March, that's off the table. We're not going there again. Like they're going to lower their offer and things like that. So none of it makes sense. It sounds. It's negotiation, and again, Micah has loved the Cowboys since he was a child. We saw the draft day video of him and Micah being drafted by the Cowboys, and how much his dad loves the Cowboys and brother loves the Cowboys. And again, his mom is out here at camp, with entourage. His kids are out here. The pot shots do get personal. You do kind of feel it, and again, unnecessary pot shots, and you don't have to do it. And again, they've historically have done it. We go back again. I go back to the Zeku stuff, and Zeke was in Cabo mad and fighting mad. I've talked to his agent. He was so hurt and so upset when Jerry put that Zeku out there, because Pollard had a good preseason game against the Rams in Hawaii, and so.
I think I pointed that out.
It's personal. It's real personal. And again, it's nothing. I would say we all believe that a pen to paper, a real deal, and these feelings will be over. Like, at the end of Zeku, they had T-shirts made Zeku and stuff like that. I was hugging and glad-handed and everything else. So I will see. But again, if you want to throw the joker down, if you want to up the ante, you want to call somebody's bluff, Micah has called the Cowboys bluff. And now what the Cowboys do?
Joseph is in the super chat. Is this the worst run team in sports? I don't think it did that. Now there are worse. But I don't know if there's a more entitled, egocentric general manager in sports. Sean is in the super chat. Cowboys are the slumlords of the NFL. They will give you that brand new flooring, but won't replace the old water heater and charge you $4K a month.
I like that.
And then Dan Myers is in there. This is a PR move from Micah. He's kicking Jerry's ass in the PR war. He'll get all the money, no trade clause, and Jerry's mega yacht
I believe
at the end of this,
that he will get all of it.
But the cycle will continue. They don't learn. Clarence, Clarence, what are you doing?
He's trying to read some tweets.
Jason's in the super chat. Your whole screen was just filled up with your hand holding your phone.
Look, and he's muted.
I think you're muted too.
Well, now he's muted. This guy's.
The sad thing is they'll pull this crap next year when it's time to pay Bland and Tyler Smith.
Yeah.
They might. Okay, so let me ask you guys this. Do you still believe, like, what's your percentage? Do you still believe absolutely that, first of all, that Micah Parsons is going to be a Cowboy this year and going to get a contract extension before this year starts to be a Cowboy?
Not for me.
See, I don't know if I think so either.
I think so. I think think it gets done. I think this may be the impetus to getting something done. Because again, they've been radio silent. Well, they can't be radio silent now. They got to talk to somebody.
Well, how?
Actually, they don't.
I feel like they hear what everybody says before, and we have been. Well, I guess now it's directly from Micah's mouth with full backstory, and that changes things. But I mean, we've been, some of us, making fun of them for a long time for not calling the agent of the football player. It's just the dumbest thing I've ever heard of from a guy whose job is general manager to claim I don't talk to agents.
Okay, let me stop them for a second here. So basically, if we go through, and I appreciate everybody being here, that we are literally start talking his delusional. Okay. Breaking. Okay, he was not traded to Commanders. Not that fast. I'm never on time with Wilson Santiago at Dirty Sanchez lies. I'm never on time with appointments. I agree with Micah. Will get extension and he will get a no trade clause in his contract. Mark, I truly believe that Jones has become a cancer to this team and this league. Really believe they don't want the fan base to be in good spirits. This team to win. They're terrible. This is taking. I mean, the Cowboys are out practicing right now. They're out practicing. We're supposed to be bringing in Lyle Collins to come in. And what are we talking about? We're talking about Micah Parsons. Shout out to Bobby. You know what? You said I owe you 3 shirts. Let me know what you want, buddy. I'm going to send you one of the Mad Magazine ones, okay, of me, which basically I needed to say the Joneses have kicked my teeth in. Mark, Mike has got to change his number to A.J. Brown. Already has 11, and Jerry, oh, my God.
Oh, shit.
Come on, Brian. Come on, Bobby. Come on, Bobby Beninsky. Aloha, Mark from the. What's going on? How are you doing? The Ina Ohana. Ohana. Okay, I know I screwed it up. Read my super chat, Lamar Davis. Lamar, I thought I did. I hate the Cowgirls, but I love this. I read that before, man. Cry, Mark, cry. Thank you, Logan Motorsports. I appreciate that, man. Cry, Mark, cry. Who cares about the Cowboys won anything this year or the next until we get rid of $60 million quarter? Oh, okay. Nothing has changed. The culture. See, the problem is, Drew, you're right. The culture of Jerry and Stephen Jones. You can't tell me that the players look and say, you know what, I want. Okay. All right. Yeah, he's traded the Panthers for a 4th-round pick.
Oh, shit.
You can't tell me that the players don't look at what they've said about Diggs and so on, that literally they're trashing that guy who's trying to get back out on the field, that you're trash, your quarterback, and say, well, he missed half the season. You literally have trashed everybody and talked about not paying anybody. Then you pay Jake Ferguson to say, well, he's our kind of guy. What the hell is that? Lovely Linda. Afternoon, Linda. This is crazy. Let's go back for a little bit more here, and we'll come back to the chats.
Give up. Don't do that job, because that is that job. That's the job. And that just drives me bonkers. I'm not yelling at Jerry. John said when Jerry decides to shoot himself in the foot, he reaches 12 gauge. Sheesh. Damn it, if they don't want to pay him, fine, but a trade should have been done at the draft. No, I think that's the biggest thing about them that drives me bonkers is they don't learn. Like, in the mind of the egomaniacal billionaire, I don't have to trade a guy right now because eventually he's going to do what I want, despite the mountain of evidence that every time you do this, you do what they want. This time's going to be different. Like, this time, I talked to Micah in my office one time. I told him we were going to have a leadership chat, and then I tried to trick him into assigning a contract. Like, I don't know how they don't learn. I don't know how they don't learn.
Yeah, they literally say we want to change the culture, and they screw the culture
and
up.
people who are talking about trading, I mean, that's what's happening. Just to reset, if you're brand new here and have missed it, Micah Parsons has requested a trade from the Cowboys directly to Stephen Jones.
I love how you guys. Breaking news: Eagles traded for Micah 2 firsts.
And if he was, and there may be some fans out there, I got news for you. Bill Barnwell wrote an article for you last week. It was every NFL team. What is every player worth in trade? And the Cowboys had one guy that fell into the category of 2 first-round picks and more, and that's Micah Parsons. Who's ready to do it? Clarence?
Billy.
I don't believe that the Cowboys, if they even pull this off, would do the right thing with the picks that they got. You know, it's just, I mean, if you just do your part, if you do your part and act as if you are truly a GM, we wouldn't be having this conversation. I don't think there's any other franchise that a 26-year-old, 4-time Pro Bowler, All-Pro, 3 out of those 4 times, sack leader, doing things that only Reggie White has done in his first 4 years of his career. No other organization is playing around with this. None. There was a story the other day that talked about all the guys from that, like the major guys from the draft class with Micah Parsons got deals done. He's the only one that hasn't gotten a deal done. This is ownership, GMship malpractice when you talk about how you handle a star football player in your organization. And then you wonder why, when we get to January, we are always the laughing stock of the league. It's little things like this. It's these small things that begin to add up, and it just makes for bad football when it matters the most.
Yeah.
Brandon, go ahead, Clarence.
Yeah, I'm just saying that you don't just trade generational talents. I mean, you just don't do it. And everybody, the fans, whoever is talking about they should trade him. You don't trade just generational.
We got Barry Church.
What's up, Barry? What's happening?
You never know who you may run into, man.
Give me the invite next time y'all in Cali just chilling at Nobu or something.
Come on, man. Come on out here. Hey, Jesse, I just want to say your twin is out here because he's so mad because everybody calls him Jesse.
Oh, Isaiah Stanback.
Isaiah. Oh my God. Fans call him Jesse so much, he gets so frustrated. Okay. And I'm sure you get frustrated for the same thing. Because we don't look alike just because we got dread.
We look nothing alike.
Happens to be in Broadus too. White guy.
Yeah, no, that doesn't happen. But both of you guys are kind of 6'3"-ish, right?
Yeah, yeah, tall white guys, yeah.
We're tall.
No, not you. Him and
Okay, so we got all we're going to get from those guys on that one. They've already talked about ad nauseum the same thing. So we'll have to keep I'm trying to understand because I've been trying to upload some videos, and unfortunately, they just seem to be stuck. And I don't know if this is a problem with YouTube, if Micah Parsons has literally broke the internet or what, but it's like stuck at loading at 36%. I've tried restarting my phone. I've started everything, but YouTube is definitely not getting it. And I tried loading on both channels, so it's just not going. And it might be that Micah Parsons has literally broken the internet. Dylan, Commanders can't keep Terry happy. Dallas is Dallas looking like the birds for the division again, thanks to Jerry Jones. Yeah, I have to agree with you on that one, Dylan. That keep crying, Mark, and drinking. Cowboys' first home game should be interesting this year. And the prop, they will get him signed at some point. But the problem is you create these distractions. So everybody's got to remember when Babe Ruth got traded, right? Okay. But the thing is you're now having everybody have to answer what's going on with Micah. You've got everybody focusing in on this. And David, I'm with you. This stinks. It's stupid. The brother screwed us. I just don't even know how to put this. First of all, let me say shout out to everybody who's done super chats. I appreciate each and every one of you guys. Shout out to over 500 people that are in here seeing the drama that is the Dallas Cowboys. And I just wish that we could do better. I wish that we could do better, but the Cowboys, they just can't get right. Just can't get right at all. So I don't even know what to say. But I wish I could get these videos uploaded. I don't know what the problem is with my stuff. I don't know if it's my cell phone or what. But I am going to try something a little different here. Try and see if it's my phone or if it's actually YouTube. Because I'm not seeing that YouTube is having issues. Oh, okay. I mean, I'm seeing that videos are flat out not loading. So it's not me. It's the system. Yeah. So let's see if we got anything else here. George Pickens, we have a lot in common in Dallas. And if you're George Pickens, do you want to stay here with this shit? Let's see if we can get one more in here before we get ready to get out of here. See if it's still raining outside. So we look like damn fools. Shout out to you guys on that one. Yeah, we do look like damn fools. I'm curious if how many of you guys watched the Terrence Parsons on Game Time and Leo? I'm trying to figure out what the heck happened with Leo on that one, and if you guys were part of that stream, let me know. He hasn't deleted any Cowboys picks yet. Well, that's a good part. Well, here's my thinking is, let's hear what Fish had to say. I'm curious, Fish.
Kind of.
Oh, it's not Fish. It's one of those guys.
And to say that it's unexpected would not be accurate. To say that it's a surprise would be inaccurate. To say that we did not think that it was going to get here at some point
I've
would
said
be
that
inaccurate.
I've said that all along.
Because while not necessarily predicted, it was certainly suggested that we could get here. As Micah Parsons, the contract negotiations or not negotiations have apparently deteriorated to the point where the star pass rusher for the Cowboys has demanded a trade out of Dallas.
Everybody is like literally looking and dreaming about Micah Parsons.
Quietly vocal about the way things have gone. And on Friday, it appears he's had enough. As we started to have reports coming out through some various social media outlets.
Distractions indeed. Time to
discussing the fact that this could be happening. And then
Pomlick,
as our
I
great
appreciate that.
Mike Fisher put out
on that one. Forgive me.
He said, "Whoa, tap the brakes here. We haven't heard from Micah yet.
Mm-hmm.
When Micah's ready for this, he'll say something, and he'll say something very loudly on Twitter/X." And just mere minutes later, Micah Parsons comes out with a statement. Basically,
you can definitely say he wants to get paid. He's made that clear.
On his iPhone, screenshots of the Notes app where he pinned this very, very heartfelt message. 3 pages worth on the Notes app. If you're familiar with the Notes app, you know that's pretty long. But just to let everyone know how fed up and frustrated and disgusted he is to have to make the decision to even threaten to want to move away from the franchise that he grew up adoring with his father and the franchise that drafted him in the first round back in 2021. We're not going to go over the entire post of Micah Parsons.
Okay.
But I thought we would offer you some of the highlights
I'm going
here.
to sleep here. Forgive me.
Micah posted on X in part.
Okay. So let's go down the line here. What Mike has done in 4 years. Okay. As you know, he basically, we're trying to say he needs to prove that he wants to get paid. Okay. 4 Pro Bowls, 3-time All-Pro, Defensive Rookie of the Year, 52.5 sacks, 9 forced fumbles, 4 recoveries at 26, and is now asking the team to trade him. Sport Track is basically saying this. Micah Parsons has been one of the most talented, successful agents in David Melagetta in sports. Jerry Jones and the Cowboys brass refused to deal with the agent, opting to communicate directly with Micah Parsons himself. When this happens, the negotiations become contentious and can lead to a miserable player. Contentious. It leads to a miserable player. Agents have a lot of jobs, but shielding the player from the noise is one of the biggest ones. And maybe this is a case where Micah Parsons kind of messed up because Micah Parsons decided that he was going to, be in the media about this, that he was going to talk about it. Dak Prescott, hey, I'm just going to take care of what I do on the field. I got great people that are working for me. They're going to negotiate it. And Dak Prescott never had that sit down with Jerry Jones and probably does not have that same relationship that Micah Parsons thought that he had. And I think what's happened with Micah Parsons is he's looking at this and thinking, why are they doing this to me? Why are they treating me like this? Dylan, shout out to you, Dylan. We will never happen, although Howie would make him happy. But you can imagine him as an Eagle on the Eagles line next to Carter. Oh, yeah, well, I'd hate to see that. I would hate to see that, Dylan. But, he would be incredible on that line. Mr. Mark is telling the truth. Joneses don't know all the elementary notes that you are reading. But they don't understand, they don't understand the basics of what they have done here. Granted, it's got everybody talking about it. Nobody's talking about the Pro Football Hall of Fame. Nobody's talking about the Eagles. Nobody's talking about Terry McLaurin, right? Nobody's talking about anything but Jerry Jones is an idiot. And as we know, a 2-year-old will throw a temper tantrum because, regardless, attention is attention. And you want attention. And that's exactly what the Joneses have. Everybody, and you've seen, this is what pisses me off. When you see Stephen Jones and Jerry Jones, they're out there, they're smiling. When everybody was saying, pay Micah, what was Jerry doing? He was out there smiling. See? I got everybody wrapped around my finger watching and waiting for me to do something. Drew, Thomas, you can't see me. Drew, you know what, Drew? My son, because of Game Time Brian, I got to send that and a shirt to you because Logan Motorsport, he wants me to send his shirt to you, and we've had to do a plaque of your face. A plaque of you, Drew, okay? Because you were the winner on Game Time Brian's channel. Oh, my God. When we get sympathy, shout out to lovely Linda. Linda, I appreciate you. I feel sad for the Dallas Cowboy fans. Empathy. Yeah, it's sympathetic. Thank you. We appreciate that because we need all we can get. The winner in the conversation and drama is D-Law. Yeah, D-Law is probably laughing right now. Stop getting pumped out by the Joneses. Yeah, you're right about that. We need to stop doing that. So there's nothing new on this. The Cowboys basically are saying we've got no comment on the situation. And I'm trying to see if anybody else has got anything. If anybody else has chimed in, I'm surprised the talking heads aren't. Yeah, that's about all we've got on this. Now, I still don't understand why I can't get my videos to upload. Stuck at 36%. Man, makes no sense whatsoever that everything is paused up on YouTube. And if anybody else is having that problem, let me know. Because I've been trying to upload this video for a while, and I guess being live is going to be the only way we get this. But I'm going to try one more thing and make sure it's not my phone. And that is, I'm going to try and send it to my other phone and upload it. So, your thoughts. Will they get this done? Or will the Cowboys for once say, you know what? We're going to... Damn, Mark, I was looking for you. Your post on a great potential season, new coach, but damn, Jerry again. Jerry always gets in the way. Jerry Jones's culture screws the Cowboys over again. Might as well shout out to Bobby. I know you guys are having a ball right now. Y'all are laughing the hell out of us right now, and I get it. I don't blame you. I'd be laughing like crazy too. Let me see. Forgive me. I'm trying to get this stuff together and waiting for more news. Once Jerry leaves the earth, maybe the Cowboys. No, we still have Stephen Jones. We still have Stephen Jones. Jerry's laughing at all. I wonder if the Joneses are happy right now about it, or if they are panicking. I would love to be a fly on the wall. Same Jones, a stupid game, play stupid games, and win stupid prizes. This will cost in the playoffs. Stacy White, shout out to you. Appreciate that. You are 100% right. 100% right. Jerry Jones, I'm very happy. Micah sits out week 1, and then Jerry realizes he needs to pay him. Yeah. The only thing we haven't gotten from Jerry is Micah who? All they care about is clout. Clout is a hell of a drug. Are they going to? They are going. No, they're not going to trade him. The reality is they can be assholes and just say, you know what, Micah, do whatever you want to do, but you ain't going nowhere. Vegas didn't even have us making the playoffs. Well, without Micah, I could say we won't. Okay, let's.
It's Randy Scott and Gary Streisky back with you on SportsCenter. Following breaking news out of the NFL, Adam Schefter tweeting Micah Parsons wants out. This part of Parsons' statement that he just said after, of course, Adam Schefter posted about it. Thank you, Dallas. I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Yikes. For more on this situation, let's bring in senior NFL writer Jeremy Fowler, who right now is at Minnesota Vikings camp, but everything stops. We're going to get to the Vikings in just a second. J-Bone, how did the situation between the Cowboys and Parsons get to this point?
Yeah, Gary, this has been bubbling under the surface for a while. Micah Parsons wanted a deal last offseason.
Oh, dude, if I was a fly on the wall in Jerry's office, I'd probably end up on the toilet bowl. Damn, Dirty. Dirty, you so nasty, man. Appreciate all the super chats. Let's go back to Jeremy Fowler.
They didn't do it, but he was willing to be patient. This should be a slam dunk because he has no knocks against him. He's on a second contract. He's a young player. He's premier. No injury issues, no off-the-field issues. So this is a very clean, easy deal to do. He feels like he's been as patient as he possibly could. Now, the Dallas Cowboys have no intention of trading him based on all that I've gathered. It would take a lot to even make Dallas listen to this situation. Certainly teams are going to start calling. We see it with trade requests all the time where the player ends up staying somehow or they work out a deal. We saw it with Myles Garrett not too long ago. But that statement was significant because you're dealing with not only Micah Parsons, but you're dealing with agent David Mulugeta, who probably is the most powerful agent in the league. And so it looks like Dallas was trying to skirt Mulugeta to get to Parsons. That didn't sit well with either side, it appears.
It doesn't.
Is there a path? You mentioned the Myles Garrett thing being able to get figured out. Is there a path out of this that potentially keeps Micah back in Dallas?
Well, based on his statement, I would say that that's a hard no. He does not appear he wants to relent. But we do see with trade requests around the league, the trend seems to be that a player requests a trade because they're not getting any momentum on a deal.
Yeah.
The team re-engages on a contract and they find a sweet spot. Trey Hendrickson requested a trade in Cincinnati. The Bengals have no intention to trade him, so they're trying to work out a deal. Terry McLaurin, that situation in Washington is still pretty fresh. So we'll see what Washington does, but they have no plans to trade McLaurin either. So it's a matter of a player has to be willing to sit out the entire season if a team simply doesn't want to trade that player, and it can get very sticky in this situation. But we know how Dallas does business. They did CeeDee Lamb's deal a year ago back in late August. They did Dak Prescott's deal on the eve of the regular season, week 1. So sometimes in these situations, cooler heads can prevail, but Parsons definitely seems fed up and doesn't want to go anywhere else but outside of Dallas right now.
Absolute heavyweights who have recently asked for their exit out of their said.
All right, so here's what we'll say is this is the escalation. Okay, let's call it that. We're going to call this the escalation of what players can do. It used to be, stop following them on social media. Stop following on social media and let them know, and just go silent. So now we've seen Terry McLaurin. We've seen, of course, Trey Hendrickson, and now Micah Parsons. All of them say, trade me. Just trade me. And Myles Garrett. Myles Garrett was the first one who was like, look, dude, I'm sick of this. You don't want me, no problem. Trade my ass. I'm out. I'm happy to go. And that didn't happen. And we saw how quickly Myles Garrett got happy when they paid him $40 million a year. So maybe, just maybe, that's what'll happen with Micah. They'll finally get together, get this contract done. What I've really been trying to see on Twitter is Cowboys practice. Now, Micah has not, he still has his profile picture of him running out onto the field as a Dallas Cowboy. So that hasn't changed yet. So we'll see if that does change. Let me see. I'm just trying to find Cowboys practice because we're literally not even talking about Cowboys practice. We're not talking about Lyle Collins coming through, and everything is. Yeah, there's nothing else out here. There is nothing else out here. Ultra Cowboys. The owners need to do what the NBA did in the CBA, requesting trades to form super teams. Can owners redo deals when players? Well, they haven't yet. They are off today. But we got Lyle Collins who's supposed to be working out and so on. So, yeah, we got nothing else other than Micah Parsons going on. And so that's where we are. And I can't seem to get my phone to upload. So we'll see what we'll see. And we'll go from there. All right, you good people. Practice. You want to talk about practice? Yeah, I do actually want to talk about practice, but we won't. Okay. All right, you good people. We're going to go ahead and get out of here. There's no other news on here, but if we do get something else, we will come back. In fact, it is Friday, so we have our regular live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. We'll definitely be talking about that. if you're just joining us, and I appreciate everybody who has been joining us, the bottom line is the Cowboys have been playing around with Micah Parsons. This is worse than Des, and I miss him. I agree with you, DET. The Cowboys basically have – well, I tell you what. Let me go back. I'm going to play this one more time because a lot of people just got in here. And this is actually probably the best explanation that you're going to get of this. And this was an hour ago.
Yeah. But on top of that,
let's go here because this shout out to 105.3 The Fan because they broke this a while ago, and I want to finish going through and see if there's anything else before we get out of here.
I wanted to play in front of the best fans in sports and make this America's team once again. The team my dad and I grew up cheering for in Pennsylvania. Unfortunately, this is the line. Unfortunately, I no longer want to be here. I no longer want to be held to closed-door negotiations without my agent. I no longer want shots taken at me for getting injured while laying it on the line for this organization, our fans, and my teammates. I no longer want narratives created and spread to the media about me. He said he stayed here. He stayed quiet to get something done. He wanted to get a deal done, so he stayed quiet. But then there's been a lot of confusion. So he said he wanted to clear up some confusion. Him and his agent reached out after his third year in hopes of getting a deal done. Unfortunately, the team did not want to start negotiations then. So that's a clear thing. They didn't want to negotiate then. They said, nope, we got other things we got to accomplish.
Which isn't shocking. We kind of knew that.
He said I was okay with that. Didn't complain. Focus on 24. After the season, I told my agent, once again, let the team know we're open to negotiate. When they met at the Combine, my agent informed me I should wait for other deals to get done because the price would only go up. That makes complete sense, right?
Yeah.
That is how this business is. We see it happen all the time. After the season, he told them that. This was before any of the other pass rushers deals got done. This offseason, I knew I would be leaving money on the table, but again, I was okay with that. Again, radio silence as far as my extension. In March, I met with Mr. Jones. We had a talk, wanted to talk leadership. Somehow the conversation turned into him talking contract. I engaged back and forth in regards to the contract, but at no point did I believe this was supposed to be a formal negotiation. I told Mr. Jones afterward that my agent would reach out thinking this would get things done. Then my agent reached out, spoke to him, and spoke to Adam. He was told the deal was pretty much already done. My agent, of course, told him this wasn't the case. Also reached out to Stephen Jones. Again, the team decided to go silent. At that point, we decided we would allow the team to reach out to us whenever they decided they wanted to talk. Yet still, no call, no email, nothing. So I'm going to get down to this other part right here at the end. Up to today, the team has not had a single conversation with my agent about a contract. Not one demand has been made by my agent about money, years, or anything else. Still, I stayed quiet. But again, after repeated shots at myself and all the narratives I've made a tough decision, I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys. My trade request has been submitted to Stephen Jones personally. Ooh.
That puts it all out there.
That was the line we missed right there, Fred, was I no longer want to play for the Dallas Cowboys.
It is trades, but now, and look, and Stephen Jones told Gavin Dawson, told the G-Bag Nation, told 105 The Fan, and everybody tuning in, and it's since gone viral, that, they don't drag out negotiations, that 90% of what he said was in Jerry and him, when we all knew they had those conversations earlier this year. Jerry took that to mean that a deal had been struck, or that the parameters of a deal had been set, and that they would finalize it with the agent. And apparently, when they came back, that wasn't the case. And again, it pretty much alludes to it.
Yep.
Adam, I'm guessing the front office guy, thought the deal was done. So Jerry being Jerry. Thinking that again, going off of like 1990s negotiation style, where you could do that sort of thing. You could talk to a guy and say, hey, this is what we're thinking, da-da-da. Go back to your agent, we'll dot I's, cross T's, boom, done. Well, it doesn't work like that. And after, rightfully so, Micah went back to David Mulugheta and probably ran by what they had discussed. Mulugheta said, no, that's not how this is going to go about. And when numbers got talked about or whatever they discussed in that initial conversation with Adam, here we are a month, 2 months, 3 months later, and as what it sounds like, nobody's budged. Cowboys aren't talking, and this is where we're at.
This is interesting because the other day,
shout out to you,
CeeDee Lamb was up on the podium out at training camp, and he said, as they were having conversations, this was a small line in a lot of conversation. He said, I don't think that you want to get into a media battle with Jerry Jones.
Yeah.
Then this is Micah Parsons taking control of the narrative. This is actually a fascinating study that we're about to watch.
Oh, it really is.
Because this is kind of that one of those moments where usually the Joneses acquiesce to a deal eventually.
Yeah.
They make up their mind and they say, okay, this is he's now said, I don't want to be here. So I don't know if this is now the Joneses can say, oh, here's the contract and now we're going to negotiate and everything's going to be fine and dandy.
Yeah.
Because now it sounds like, well, now if you want me here, you're going to have to tack on even more numbers.
Yeah.
But on top of that,
insult tax.
You treated me like crap, and I don't like that. Now, a lot of people I see on the fan text right now, a lot of people are going through the emotions of all this. Trade his ass. How much can we get for him? The Joneses are terrible for this. This is like nobody. There is no defined line on where people are.
It's pretty evenly split about how people feel about this situation.
And I don't know how what the Cowboys next, because this morning, whenever we started this conversation this morning, it was he could request a trade. The relationship has deteriorated.
And he finally said,
but now Micah has put it out there. No, that's true, I'm Diana Rossini. And I'm done with this thing, and I don't want to have anything to do with it anymore.
Yeah.
And I don't know how much that affects the locker room, too. Because I feel like there's Trayvon Diggs is in a situation where he's upset, and I feel like their locker room is being supportive of him. We saw the Wanye Thomas post.
Yeah.
We see that. They're being supportive. How does it affect the locker room? And how does it affect the negotiation now with the Jones family?
The Trayvon situation, I think it's just him attaching himself. I mean, look, he's just being opportunistic, I think, more than anything else. I mean, he's been paid, right? Like, you're complaining about what? Because you got doc money? Well, that's more of a discussion about, how you're handling things as a professional. This Micah situation, I mean, it has, and again, this is where the Jones screwed up. You underestimated David Mulugheta. Okay? You underestimated how far David Mulugheta was willing to go. And you underestimated how far Micah Parsons was willing to go.
Oh yeah.
Okay. Like
you thought that you could say whatever.
You thought you could use the old this is how we do things with the Cowboys, and he's under contract and da 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 da. It's like, yeah, and right, he is to a point.
Yeah, Leo.
But at the same time too, though, this isn't to be fair, this isn't Trayvon Diggs. All right, Trayvon Diggs negotiating his deal a couple years ago is a whole different story than Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons is in the I mean, Trayvon Diggs is a good cornerback, but I don't know that we've ever had him in the conversation as being one of the best cornerbacks in football.
Right.
Okay. Micah Parsons is 1A, 1B, 1C when we're talking about impact defensive ends in the National Football League. Run stopping notwithstanding, okay? But no one's going to disagree. He is not one of the premier pass rushers in the National Football League.
This conversation, though, because guys will say they don't want to be somewhere, but he currently is still under contract. What's the line we always hear? Guys don't want to miss paychecks.
No.
They don't want to miss game checks.
Apparently he's ready to.
So he says that right now. I'm interested to see how far the Cowboys are willing to push that. To say, hold on, he's not going to want to miss these checks. Here's Adam Schefter, though, potential trade comp for Micah Parsons. When Khalil Mack was 27, traded from Oakland to Chicago, the Bears gave up 2 first-round picks, a third-round pick, and a 6th-round pick for Khalil Mack, a 2nd-round pick, and a conditional 5th. 26 years old for Parsons, who is one of the 2 players in the NFL history to register a double-plus sack season in each of his first 4 seasons, along with Reggie White, has now requested the trade.
Yeah.
That is the place where fans are sitting. Do I want Micah Parsons, who is a fantastic pass rusher? Maybe not the best, but a fantastic one.
Top 3.
or do I want all these picks? And I don't know exactly who has that.
And
I was kind of looking
space.
around. Yeah, there's and cap space. That's another thing to go along with it. Micah Parsons has said he no longer wants to be a Dallas Cowboy.
Yep. So that's what we got right now, guys. So, Des Bryant an hour ago. Let's get Dez's opinion on this, because Dez has been chiming in and saying this is the part that he hates about the Cowboys. Let's listen to my boy Dez.
Hey, Micah, what you doing, a message that you sending, the business that you standing on is extremely major, brother. You know, the guys like myself, guys who came before you, we failed. You know, we failed tremendously.
Gotcha,
on
Bobby.
standing our ground, you know, due to the lack of knowledge and the lack of support entering a world that we was very unfamiliar with. You know, I remember being in that situation like you. Nervous, scared, don't know which way to go. Can't trust my support system. By the way, shout out to David, man. You know, he's one of the best agents in the business. You know, I respect how y'all go about y'all business. You know, so a huge salute there. You know, but like I was saying, man, much respect to you. For real. You know, do what's best for you. Do I want to see you with the star on your helmet? Yes, I do. You know, I pray that Jerry and them do what's right, pay you what you deserve. You're an incredible talent. You are a superstar. You are worth every penny that you're asking for. You know, and if everything don't work out, you still gonna be great, because that's who you are.
Amen.
You know? So, again, I appreciate you. I support you. As I always love, dog.
All right, let's get. I'm trying to go through and get everybody's opinion on what's going on to see if anybody's got anything different. But here's another one. This is Tommy Yarish. His 2 cents. We're just getting everybody's 2 cents right now.
Situation. You know, I think it's a frustrating situation for everyone, right? Yeah. The Cowboys don't want to be in this situation. Micah Parsons certainly doesn't want to be in this situation. Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about contract negotiations, leverage is the word. Yeah. And Brian, you put it perfectly. The Cowboys have all of the leverage here. And I think they gained even more leverage when we were at the owners' meetings back in March, Jerry Jones said to us, Micah and I had a handshake deal. Yeah. Micah and I had a handshake deal. And then Micah Parsons comes out a couple months later and says, well, I want them to call my agent. Yeah. And essentially what that's saying is the Cowboys can look at it and say, we had a deal, and now we don't have a deal anymore. Right. Why can't we do what we originally agreed upon? Yeah. And so that's the complex part, right? Because if the agent gets involved from day one, and David Mulligetta is one of the best in the game, and I know the Cowboys have respect for David Mulligetta, and that's mutual, whether or not, you can throw out they haven't talked to David Mulligetta, they have in the past, and there's respect there. This is just, I really think, is all just part of playing the game. And I think Micah Parsons is trying to levy some leverage onto his side.
He definitely has.
Rightfully so. Micah Parsons is going to be worth every penny of whatever
Cowboys
deal
are signing
gets done, because
Collins.
A deal is going to get done. I would be floored if the Cowboys trade Micah Parsons. That would be the most shocking thing to ever happen, maybe since the Luka Doncic trade. It would be that level of wow, I think. Maybe even more so, just because when you have an elite pass rusher, you don't trade him. You just don't. You just don't. And Micah Parsons is one of one. What he's been able to do is unbelievable. So I think this is really just Micah Parsons trying to get leverage back on his side, because, frankly, Brian outlined it. The Cowboys can franchise tag him not once, but maybe even twice.
So it's basically 3 years.
And
There's 3 years
they are saving so much money in doing that that they can use the rest of their cap to spend around him. Yeah. Now, Micah Parsons obviously should not. He's thinking about himself. He's trying to gain generational wealth for his family. So you understand that he doesn't want to do that. Right. But, at the same time, I think this all gets done at some point. And once it does get done, everybody's going to be singing Kumbaya, because we have been down this road before. They did it last year with CeeDee Lamb. They did it with Dak Prescott. It was Zach Martin, Ezekiel Elliott in the past. Eventually, something will get done. I think, again, this is just Micah Parsons trying to get some leverage onto his side, which is the smart thing to do.
Yeah. Real quick.
Okay, so there's that. So if you're just tuning in and you've been under a rock, Micah Parsons is definitely trying to restart these negotiations and definitely get himself in on better footing, okay? Because the Joneses, what they typically do in contract negotiations is they end up making the player out to be the bad guy. By Micah Parsons spelling out every step of this situation and saying, listen, I know I was going to leave money on the table. I was okay with that. He has literally made the Joneses look like they're the bad guy, because what you've been getting all week, since training camp started, is Micah Parsons. Well, he missed, 6 games last year, as Jerry said, when it was actually 4, and he could get paid and we may not have him and such and so forth. And, you got Stephen Jones saying, he's got to want to get paid. Like he's, not doing what he needs to get paid. And then you turn around and pay Jake Ferguson and you literally say, well, that's the kind of guy we want. And every time somebody starts cheering about or saying, putting you on blast about paying him, you just smile like you're enjoying it. So we have that. But in the meantime, shout out to Ultra Cowboys, okay? I don't do that very often, shouting him out. But the Cowboys have actually re-signed Lyle Collins. So we'll see if that changes the narrative any. The Cowboys are set to sign offensive lineman Lyle Collins, sources say. Collins, who started for the Cowboys from 2015 to 21, was with the Bills most recently in 24 offseason. He dropped about 25 pounds and had a strong workout for Dallas today. Now set for a reunion with the team. Now, I'm going to say this is one of the things that the Cowboys typically do this time of year is they sign guys who have not been on a football roster for a couple of years. Typically, though, it's usually guys that have never done much of anything. So at least they got him in here where they can get him some work underneath of him. Mark, put some icy hot and go to sleep. Go to sleep? Why am I going to go to sleep? It's 4:55. If it stopped raining, I'm going to go out here and get some more plywood sheath and put on the roof of my storage building and probably do a few more videos before I have my live stream tonight. Why icy hot? And I'm not sore. Why would I need icy hot? I don't use icy hot. What's wrong with that? I may be 59 years old, but I was out here working, unloading a truckload of gravel and working on my building and clearing brush. What are you talking about? Are you a freaking idiot? Lamar? What, Lamar Davis? What the hell are you talking about? But typically, Pamela Savage, appreciate you being in here. Micah has no leverage. Well, no, he's trying. Well, you're right. He honestly doesn't, Ultra. He doesn't have any leverage. But you can win in the court of public opinion. And that's what he's trying to do. He's in the same position as Trey Henderson. He's in the same position as Scary Terry, with the exception of he is in his prime and he is at the top of his game. And that's where we have it. And, of course, the Cowboys, they really need that guy. So that's that. But back to Lyle Collins and the Cowboys signing him. That's a typical kind of signing that the Cowboys do, somebody that's been out of football for a while, because Lyle Collins did not play football last year at all. His last year he was here, not so good. He was here in 23, basically on the practice squad. And so, we'll see what he has left. They're reporting that he is actually in really good shape, that he's dropped some weight and things like that. But at the moment, we've got everybody kind of beat up, so having him in here was definitely a good thing. So now the question begs is, what will Micah Parsons do from here? Will he show up for practice tomorrow? Will he show up and be on the sidelines? Will the Cowboys start fining him for not actually practicing, because they did that with Zach Martin? As a Cowboy fan for 60 years, we better do better. Appreciate that, Randy McIntyre. Appreciate everybody who's come in the chat and been part of this. We're going to be doing our live stream at 9 o'clock Eastern. They can fill out a grievance. Well, Ultra, the NBA owners took a stand again about players requesting trades and form super teams. Well, but see, here's the thing about requesting trades, though. It doesn't matter. The reality is there's nothing that Micah Parsons can do that without the Cowboys moving towards him that he can do. He cannot play. He cannot play like Le'Veon Bell did. He can sit out. But with the new collective bargaining agreement, it doesn't matter. That year you sit out, you're not getting paid. You're getting a year older, and you're not getting that year as credit. So you're still in the same position than the next year. So let's say, hypothetically, Micah Parsons said, you know what, I ain't playing till I get traded. Fine, sit out. That $24 million that you're owed, you're not getting a dime of that this year. So come next year, if you decide that you're going to play, then, okay, you're getting paid $24 million. So you're going to lose out on that. They don't have to franchise tag you the next year. Or if you miss out 8 games, well, you're missing a game check every season, every game. So for him, there is no recourse other than you can be a distraction. You can be like our running back and not talk all season, but you're going to play. He's going to play. Now, the Cowboys, well, they can go through and they can say, you know what, we're not giving you a new contract. And we franchise tag you next year. And again, you're not going to sit out. You're still going to have to play. And for the Cowboys, well, you know, they can do that and basically, you know, for $50 million, have them for 2 years. That would be dirty. You probably will have a player that's really pissed off and will do just the bare minimum. He's definitely not going to look at you and say, I want to win a Super Bowl for you. So ultimately, this needs to be a win for both sides. The Cowboys recognize we're better with Micah Parsons, and just trading and getting a couple of picks for him doesn't mean that you're going to necessarily get a player of his ilk. You know, take a look at Mozzie Smith and Tyler Guyton. You could trade Micah Parsons and get 2 number ones, and you could get 2 guys that could be worse than that. And then what happens? Micah needs to go visit Pink's. Well, he's not far from Pink's. I mean, it's about an hour and a half away, but yeah, he could. Micah needs the Commanders, Giants, or Carolina in playoffs to get a sack. Okay. Very funny, David. But that's where we are. At least the Cowboys did make a move today. They signed La'el Collins. So congratulations. Welcome back, La'el Collins, to the Cowboys. But, Jerry, let's get this thing done. Half of training camp is over. We need Micah Parsons to get out there, start practicing, and being, you know, this is your leader on your team. And the players are on Micah's side. So, I don't know. Maybe everybody says, we're going to sit out practice for him. How about that? Never a dull moment. You know, retro games, Chris May, it is never a dull moment when it comes to the Cowboys. So, 1 tackle versus the Packers, Parsons. Okay, William Santiago. Well, you know, nobody played good on that one, but that's okay. Mike first reported that Mike Fisher said it's not true. That came from him. Micah Parsons did that. I'm here because I enjoy seeing the guys in this kind of pain. Figures. Well, appreciate that, Leo. Glad you're here. And I'm glad I didn't answer your call a few minutes ago. Okay? Because you're a blowhard loudmouth that gets on people's nerves. But I guess that's every Eagle fan. That's literally every Eagle fan. All right, good people. We'll be back with whatever news that we get. We'll definitely be back with whatever news that we get when it comes in. And I appreciate you guys. And Micah Parsons, this is for you, buddy.
Spanning the globe to bring you the constant variety of sport, the thrill of victory, and the agony of defeat. The human drama of athletic competition. This is ABC's Wide World of Sports.
Brought to you by Lincoln Mercury. Nobody has more kinds of cars for more kinds of people. See them at the sign of the cat. By Goodyear, makers of the custom Steel Guard radial tire. And by State Farm Mutual. Almost anywhere you live, there's a State Farm agent nearby. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.